Have one of the worst storm systems here of the past few years likely across the United States, as a significant severe and tornado outbreak is likely to unfold here as we go through today, Saturday, and then as we go into Sunday as well. And we're going to get you all that vital information that you need to know in this forecast. So what you got to do, subscribe to my channel, follow along with all my detailed, accurate, and reliable weather information by subscribing to my channel. Like the video, give it a thumbs up by pressing the thumbs up button to get this information out to more and more people, as well as share this video with friends, family, and on social media. You press the share button, you share this out to as many people as possible. I definitely appreciate it. Let's get into the facts of the forecast, because we're seeing some record high temperatures across portions east of the plains. So the Midwest into the Ohio Valley and the Deep South, where these are all boxed out. We could have record highs this afternoon on Friday, March 14th, 80 degrees all the way up into the Chicagoland, Des Moines, St. Louis into the low 80s this afternoon, mid 70s all the way up here into the Twin Cities, and then the warmth continues to spread east on Saturday with the 80s maximized across the Gulf Coast, and then into Sunday that big cold front comes through and wipes out some of the record-breaking highs to end the weekend. Now we are looking at a couple high-end days for severe weather, starting with today, day 1. The Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma has a level 4 out of 5, a moderate risk of severe weather in a large area from central Iowa into southeast Iowa, much of Illinois, especially central and southern Illinois, eastern Missouri, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, northeastern portions there of Arkansas, all the way down into northern Mississippi. In the orange, that's a 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, extending all the way back into eastern Nebraska, all the way south to southern Mississippi, into Alabama and middle Tennessee. And then in the yellow and the dark green outside of that, that's a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 in the yellow, level 1 out of 5 marginal risk in the green, with severe weather extending from Lake Superior all the way south to New Orleans and the Gulf Coast this afternoon. The biggest hazards that we're going to have to look for is some damaging, destructive wind gusts, 60 to as high as 100 miles per hour, especially with the strongest of those winds in this red and magenta shade of color that is outlined in the black polka dots. That's where we could be seeing potentially those significant wind gusts, 60 to as much as 100 miles per hour. And those are over areas of Des Moines, St. Louis, Kansas City, Rockford, Chicago, Peoria, all the way down to Springfield, Paducah, extending down into Jackson, Tennessee. Even Indianapolis could see that as well, keeping a very close eye on that. Also, a tornado outbreak could unfold across the mid-Mississippi Valley. There is a large area of tornado potential in the green and brown. That's where we have a 2 to 5% chance of tornadoes. But where you have the yellow and the red, that's a 10 to a 15% chance of tornadoes. And notice the polka dots here, that indicates the potential for stronger and long track tornadoes, EF2 to EF5 strength, covering the St. Louis metro, Peoria, Illinois, down there toward Paducah, Memphis, and towards areas west of Nashville, Jackson, Mississippi, Tupelo over here into Jonesboro, Cape Girardeau, Kirksville, Missouri, and the Davenport Quad Cities. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And then looking here at the hail risk, we could be seeing some hailstones up to baseball size, especially in this red shaded color centered around St. Louis down toward Memphis. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as well. And here is the radar depiction that we could be seeing later on today. So here's the noon time frame, and we're going to be seeing some storms trying to pop up here into Missouri. It's really going to take until we get to around mid to late afternoon. We're going to see an arcing band of supercells quickly develop there from Kansas City eastward to St. Joseph, all the way down here into Springfield, Missouri, with an arcing band of supercells already capable of tornadoes, destructive winds, 60 to 100 miles an hour, and the potential for some baseball-sized hail. This is around 5 o'clock here late this afternoon, and then a rapidly developing squall line with embedded supercells that could be producing some widespread wind damage, 60 to 100 miles per hour. We could be seeing some strong tornadoes, especially on the southern side of this line, down here in central and southern Missouri, so we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Notice some rogue supercells also trying to develop down here in Arkansas, western Tennessee, and Mississippi. Those could be the ones to produce those long track strong tornadoes as we go into this evening. Otherwise, a derecho producing squall line pushing across the Mississippi River into Illinois, so we're going to be keeping an an eye on that. That could produce some widespread destructive wind damage across the land of Lincoln there, southern Wisconsin, all the way down towards St. Louis. And then those storms will push east and tend to weaken with eastward extent as they move over the cooler water of Lake Michigan. That could help southwestern lower Michigan get a little bit of weaker storms. Same thing over here into Indiana. This is after midnight, folks. This is 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on your Saturday. Going into Saturday, another high-end day, very high ceiling for severe weather, a level 4 out of 5 area in red. That is a moderate risk of severe weather across eastern Louisiana, much of central southern Mississippi, and most of the state of Alabama, northwest Florida. Enhanced risk in orange covering up there into middle and eastern Tennessee, Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga, and the Cumberland Plateau. And then we have severe weather in the dark green and yellow with a level 1 out of 5 marginal in the dark green, level 2 out of 5 slight risk in the yellow, extending all the way up into Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, western Pennsylvania, and all the way up to Lake Erie there. So Lake Erie all the way to the Gulf Coast will be at risk for severe weather on Saturday, March 15th. We do have the chance for some big hail as these storms initially develop back there toward the Mississippi River Valley. So from Nashville, Jackson, Mississippi, down there toward Baton Rouge and New Orleans, could be seeing up to baseball size hail with those initial supercells tomorrow. And then we're going to grow upscale. We could be seeing some big time wind, again, ranging 60 to 90 miles an hour, especially in the red and the magenta shaded color covered in these polka dots. That's where we could have those very strong hurricane force wind gusts and a large area here for some strong long track tornadoes. This is very worrisome. I think the Storm Prediction Center could include a high risk for tornadoes tomorrow, especially parts of Mississippi and Alabama, when that could be included with a 30% chance of some tornadoes if we do get that upgrade. Otherwise, right now, a 15% chance of some strong to violent long track tornadoes. Those are those EF2 to EF5 variety. Here's the synoptic setup as we go into Saturday afternoon. Look at the dew points surging north all the way to Tennessee, mid 60s dew points all the way up there into Nashville, upper 60s, low 70 dew points. Very moisture rich low levels here across portions of Mississippi into Alabama. We have a lot of instability, especially for the middle of March down here, 2,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram. That is some strong instability to work with. A lot of storm energy down here. And this is what we look at for the potential of some tornado genesis, right? We're looking at the low level winds. Winds coming in out of the southeast at the surface, out of the south with the low levels here, just 1,000 feet above our heads or so. And then in the mid levels here, a few thousand feet coming in out of the west southwest. A lot of rolling here, a lot of turning of the winds with height. Here is your 850 millibar low level jet. Notice Saturday morning already over 70 knots. This is very concerning here. And then looking as we go into the afternoon, peak daytime heating coinciding with that high moisture rich environment. High instability, a lot of wind shear. We're going to be talking about a high ceiling event here across portions of Mississippi into Alabama Saturday afternoon and going into Saturday evening. This is 80 knots, folks, of a low-level jet, just 1,000 feet above our heads. Here is the significant tornado parameter here for tomorrow on the HRRR model, already showing the Mississippi Valley down toward portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, western Alabama already peaking 9 out of 10 already. Yes, out the gate there, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice as that low-level jet starts to crank up around midday, those values creep all the way to 22 out of 10. That's off the charts there into Mississippi and northwest Alabama. And then watch tomorrow mid-afternoon or so, we're going to be seeing that peak 44 out of 10 for the significant tornado parameter space here across Alabama down into southern portions of Mississippi. I do expect a high risk to be issued here at some point, either later today at the 12:30 update here, which is very soon, or tomorrow's day one outlook, something to keep an eye on. And again, that 30% chance for tornadoes may be an upgrade as we do get closer. Let's look at the potential of what the radar could look like tomorrow morning. Already seeing a cluster of storms moving through the Cumberland Plateau, middle and eastern Tennessee. Could be bringing us some heavy rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of severe weather already, 60-mile-an-hour winds, some hail, and maybe an isolated tornado, especially back here in northern Alabama and Mississippi. Going into the midday hours, we're going to start to see a lot of supercells begin to develop here, and there's just going to be rogue supercells all along this line and ahead of the main line as well. Notice you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 supercells, really all along the leading edge of this line. And these could be the ones to put down those large tornadoes that could be on the ground for a long period of time. We're talking potentially 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. This is the type of environment that we have tomorrow for those large tornadoes to be on the ground for endless amounts of time. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. If that's not enough, Sunday, March 16th, we have a level 1 and level 2 out of 5, marginal risk in the dark green, and a slight risk of severe weather in the yellow, stretching from the Delmarva all the way up into the northeast. Yes, New York City and Long Island also included in a marginal risk for severe weather on Sunday. Slight risk extending down here into Georgia and North Florida, and that could include the threat for damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes even on Sunday. Stronger storms lingering into Georgia, South Carolina, and North Florida Sunday morning. Those will begin to build further north with time toward the Delmarva region and the mid-Atlantic coast as we go into the peak daytime heating Sunday afternoon into early Sunday evening. And then finally, that cold front will make its way off the coast as we go into Sunday late night or early Monday morning. And this storm system is going to have a lot of moisture with it. It's more moisture laden. We showed you the dew points in the 70s and 60s all the way up across the east here. This is going to squeeze out moisture like a sponge. 2 to 4 inches of rain could cause some flash flooding here from Kentucky down into Tennessee there into parts of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Western Carolinas as well. So we're going to be keeping an eye on the flash flooding threat and the cold side, bringing a blizzard potentially to parts of the northern plains and the upper Midwest, the eastern Dakotas, northeast Nebraska, and western Minnesota up there into Canada. Could be seeing some very heavy snowfall, 10 to 1, 8 to 1 ratio snows, and maybe an ice storm as well further north there into Ontario. Here's the snowfall amounts that are forecasted, around 5 to 8 inches, a good bet here in the northern and western portions of Minnesota, into eastern portions there of the Dakotas. So we're going to be keeping an eye on a plowable snow for those areas, and maybe a 1/10 of an inch or so of icing accumulation across northwest Minnesota going through Saturday and into Sunday morning. So watch out for hazardous travel up there with slick roads and all of that. Looking here at the storm, such a powerful low pressure system, 974, 975 millibars, of course, will bring an elevated fire weather risk not only to the southern plains but parts of the Midwest, with red flag warnings already posted widespread across the heartland of the country. Widespread damaging wind gusts up to 60, 70 miles an hour with this storm across the central and eastern U.S. over the next couple of days. So make sure if you have anything that could fly around outdoors, outdoor pillows, outdoor lawn furniture, stuff like that, make sure to get that away and kind of put it into either your basement or in a garage or something like that so it doesn't fly away as we go through the weekend with such strong winds. As we go into next week, our active march does continue. We have another potent storm system here in the middle of the country. This could bring more of a wintry impact for portions of the upper Midwest this go around from Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and eastern Nebraska. Obviously, this is still several days out, so things can change, but we could even have some severe weather further south again from St. Louis toward the Gulf Coast if we have enough of those ingredients coming together for that. And that will be something to watch here. Again, you're noticing a 996, 995 millibar low. So another potent system here. Heavy rain, severe weather threat, more from the Ohio Valley toward the mid and lower Mississippi Valley with this storm. And then more of a snow threat there on the northern side. Perhaps it could be in eastern Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP of Michigan on up there to southeastern Canada. This could wobble north or south, or this could uptrend. This could downtrend over the next couple of days. Something to keep an eye on. Again, this is still several days out, but something to watch for as we go into next week. Thank y'all for watching. We are around the clock here giving you updates on Twitter, so follow my Twitter handle in the description down below the video with live updates with storm pictures, videos, and just updates in general on this upcoming storm, as significant severe weather is in the cards both today, tonight, and into your Saturday and even into Sunday as well. We're going to keep you covered with this with the 24/7 updates here, rapid fire on my Twitter page, as well as my community tab here on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for the latest, most reliable information here on YouTube. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. Very important to get this information out to more and more people. And share this video with friends, family, and on social media. Definitely appreciate it. Hopefully everybody stays safe out there. I'm praying for everybody for the severe weather. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful and safe rest of your Friday out there.